Welcome to Strange Bedfellows, a Julian Fellowes fan cast. I'm Kirt Graves.
And I'm Stefanie Jochman-Deepak. Today we are discussing the 7th episode of Downton Abbey Season 2.
And it's getting good again.
Woo!
Yay!
Yay! This is
Getting
the Downton
long.
we love. Yeah.
So long. It's not as much this episode as the next one, but it really felt like it just kept going on and on. Partially it's just like knowing how the season ends and what happens in the Christmas episode and being like halfway through episode 7 and thinking like, how do we get to episode 9 in only 1.5 episodes? Like so much has to happen between now and then.
And it does.
Yeah, it does. And I strangely don't remember feeling like when I first watched this that it just like zoomed through these super important story elements.
Right.
But in hindsight, it's like, wow, we address a lot in a very small amount of time.
Yeah. The pacing has just been all over the place in this season, that we go from so much packed into an episode in the second episodes, slightly more drawn out storylines, fewer plots in the middle, and now we're back to like everybody's got a plot and 12 things are going on in a very short amount of time.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
Well, before we dive in deeper, shall we do the surface level? Shall we do our 60-second recap? Again, I'm saying we as though I have anything to do with it other than sitting here and enjoying it.
And get ready, listeners, because this might be the zaniest one yet.
Okay.
My apologies in advance. Those of you who are offended know who you are. Okay. Bonjour, mon ami. Bienvenue à The Existential Hour. Je m'appelle Alberta Camus, and today's guest is Robert Crawley, Earl of Grantham, and the steward of Downton Abbey. Robert is here today to wonder, is this all there is? What was it all for? As his grand estate, once busy with the hustle and bustle of a war hospital, quiets again and a new modern age dawns. His daughter is stealing and then returning butlers. His future son-in-law is enlisting maids in a spy ring. His almost son-in-law seems to be living a miracle. His chauffeur might be his secret son-in-law. And he himself seems to have developed feelings for a maid. He says, before the war, I believe my life had value. And today, we will examine the truth of this claim before and after the war.
Nicely done. Okay, I feel like I 50% get that reference. Is that an SNL skit?
No, it is not. It is made up. I'm trying to do ennui from from whatchamacallit, the Feelings movie.
The Feelings movie?
The Pixar Feelings.
Inside Out.
Thank you. That's it.
The Feelings. Yes.
I'm trying to do a little bit of ennui.
Okay.
I have been told that
I could see that being an SNL segment. Like, and today we are here to talk about.
What is it all for? I have been told that my attempts at French accents sound more like the French knight in Monty Python.
What is wrong with that? This is perfectly fine. This is the venue for that, frankly.
Okay.
So you do what you have to do to make it work, okay?
Thank you. And right. French speakers, my apologies.
Oh, yes. No. None of them are listening to this.
One never knows.
Why would they want to hear about some silly Americans' thoughts about Downton Abbey? That is... No. I smoke my cigarette and drink my wine and
I meant to do a
walk
cigar.
Outside. Yes, no.
I meant to do my cigarette at the beginning.
I do not have time to listen to silly podcasts. I am too busy eating cheese and wearing something fabulous.
Yes.
So, no French people are listening to this. And if you are, let us know how wrong we are.
Yes. Please feel free to re-record my introduction.
Or just send us a message. Let us know you're out there. That's fine. Yeah. That's fine. Oh, so we have a lot A lot going on in this episode.
Yeah.
So my new approach is to just kind of watch it and then write down some things that I remembered from the episode. But feel free to interrupt me if you're like, wait, this other important thing happened that I totally forgot about. To me, one of the things that stood out the most in this episode, for some reason, is Mrs. Hughes trying to help Ethel.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That I have barely taken notes on that, but it's lovely that you paid attention.
I don't know why, but like the idea of the Bryants coming to Downton and and Mr. Bryant being such a cad.
Yeah.
Really, like, it stood out to me in a really wonderful way. I was like, this is such great writing. This is such great storytelling. It's great acting. I hate this man. I don't know who he is. I should look it up. But I just thought he did such a wonderful job being somebody I did not want to be around. From the second he steps out of that car, the look on his face tells me that, like, I don't want this. He doesn't want this. He's here because his wife is making him be here.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, like, Ethel's going to burst in and make a big scene.
Yeah.
Yeah. It stuck with me. Just how, and there's something that, there's something about the interaction between Isabel and Mrs. Bryant that struck me in a way it hadn't before.
Yeah.
You know, just two mothers talking to each other about their soldier sons, one of whom is fortunate enough to have their son still at the table, but disabled from war, and the other having lost her son at the very end of the war, just when there was probably time to hope that he was going to make it through.
Yeah, we really do. This is an episode about the fallout of war and what follows a war, how we deal with the grief of it. And that's definitely
and that line when Mrs. Bryant says he's terrified of his own grief. That's why he acts this way. Yeah. He's terrified of his own grief. Beautiful. Yeah. So for me, that was the thing that stuck out the most in this episode. On this, who knows how many times I've watched it. This time it was that Ethel and the Bryants story.
Yeah. And I guess there's something too it's maybe not where I expected the plot to go. You know, in terms of it involving them, and then there being the chance of Ethel losing Charlie to them. So yeah, some good and emotional surprises. This plot takes you on a journey.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, do we want to, that is one of the times when, like, there's this crossing of upstairs and downstairs.
Yes.
So should we go downstairs or upstairs? Which direction do you want to go first?
Ooh, let's go upstairs.
Cool. We have a lot of relationship drama, which I guess is really the only type of drama they have because their lives are so pampered and they don't really have actual troubles. Yeah. But let's talk about Robert.
Oh, Robert. Where on earth did this malaise come from? I think I asked this question twice. He is just so stuck in, like, having that he's having a crisis, and I have no idea what prompted it.
Well, I mean, I think this is his wound from war. The fact that from the very beginning of the conflict, he has felt like he had no place. He was not wanted as a soldier. He was not running his own household. And so he's just kind of been, like, shoved aside so that the functions of war could happen around him. He was not contributing. And I think he's smart enough to recognize that. Even though he's walking around with his uniform on, he knows that, like, I'm not really doing anything. And he could have, chosen to be more involved with the running of the house or the care for the soldiers, but instead he chose to, hold on to the idea of him being above certain other people and being a lord of the county.
Yeah.
And just maintaining as much of his regular lifestyle as he possibly could. That was his choice. But the result is now he's here after the war, having felt pointless for 4 years, and now coming out the other end, nobody's like, oh, thank God, let's go back to the way life was, because everybody else has been changed by their experience, by getting involved.
Okay. Well, you've psychoanalyzed very well.
Thank you.
So,
but like, I think what else is it that other than like he sat around for 4 years waiting to be useful, never was, and now that it's all over, he's like, oh fuck, am I still sorry? Oh shoot, am I? It was bound to happen sooner or later.
Yes, it was.
So now he's just sitting around thinking like, oh shoot, am I still useless? Have I always been useless?
Mm-hmm.
Oh no.
Yeah.
And we've had this theme before with him where he's like, he's afraid to give up control. He's afraid to have his opinion discarded, like with Mary and like her taking over the estate, or even like giving up some control to Matthew. He struggled with that. His whole identity is wrapped up in running Downton Abbey and being the lord of the county. And if that's not what's on the menu, he's got nothing.
Good point. I guess somewhere in me, I think I did understand all that you just explained. A part of me feels like some of that needed to be said aloud. But maybe, I don't know, maybe not. I wonder, I mean, I suppose he has the power, so nobody's going to question him. But a part of me is like, he's posing all of these like really deep, sad questions and going like, before the war, my life had meaning. And I want somebody to call him on it and be like, excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
Shake yourself out of this. You're alive.
And
Let's
also, like,
forward.
You were a soldier when you were younger. You know what it's like. That's how you know Bates. It's why you have this really strong bond formed with your valet. Like, clearly you understand the rigors of war or of conflict, military conflict, even if I don't recall if it was a full war or not. But like, you get it. So stop being such a little bee about everything.
Yeah. So I guess I don't have as much sympathy for his crisis, especially in the way that he lives it out.
If I sounded like I was sympathetic, please let me divorce you from that notion. I have zero sympathy for him. I just think I get why he feels the way he does and why he's sitting there being like, do you ever wonder what it was all for? Like, no, she's too big. Like, doesn't he ask Jane that? Do you ever wonder what it was all for? Like, no, she lost her husband and she needs to work to feed her son. She's not sitting around wondering what it was all for.
Yes. Oh, yeah, that is. She's dropped her apples from her mother's apple store and he sees her on the grounds and
yes, she has. She dropped her apples right in front of Lord Grantham. Oh
my gosh, I didn't even think about like the metaphorical, symbolic significance of dropping apples. Oh, Julian.
Oh, Julian. Yes.
Wow.
Getting biblical up in here.
Indeed. Oh my.
Tempting him with her apples.
Yeah.
He does. Oh, Julian, she says. Oh, Julian.
He has such, I guess, between Ethel's line about like, I'm the best at tucking, or like, I tuck in the best or whatever it is. Between that line and now me like thinking about these apples, like he has this, I mean, maybe we're reading too much into it, but I don't think so. I think he's got this like winky little sense of humor.
He knows an entendre and when to double it.
That's true. Well said. So yes,
so Robert has this whole thing with Jane, makes an advance on her
in the cupboard,
and then it is immediately like, oh no, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have done that. Jane, stupidly, is like, I don't mind. It's fine. Poor lonely Jane, who does not recognize that she is in a situation where Robert has much more power than her, and therefore there is a power dynamic that should not be happening He should not be approaching her in this way, because sexual harassment will not be made up for like another 50, 60 years. So,
right.
you know, it's just not understood that like these feelings that she thinks she has for him, like she absolutely does not.
Yeah.
But
it's the grief speaking. It's the power dynamic. It's the newness of working in Downton. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. But like she's not put off by it. She's kind of into it.
Yeah.
And Robert's kind of into it. But that's where we leave things. Forbidden kiss.
And so hypocritical. I mean, I'll say probably more about this in the next episode. So very hypocritical given Sybil's situation. Which, I mean, since we're talking upstairs and we've mentioned her, we might as well let's talk about Sybil and Branson in this episode.
Yes.
So here the war is ending, things are wrapping up. Sybil is sort of having to don the clothes she wore before the war, which are slightly out of fashion. She's like, I'm just trying to wear them out before she would get a new wardrobe. And she's definitely feeling a bit trapped in the old life and readier than ever to say yes to Branson, to go to Ireland with him, to run away. And so after some dinners with family that kind of give her a preview of this is what life is going to be like if you keep staying here, she makes the decision to go with him, and they run away to Gretna Green, which is like the place to go and elope if you're a Pride and Prejudice fan.
I was going to say why.
So I looked this up. It has to do with, so Gretna Green is on the drive from, it's like the most direct route from Scotland to London. And Scotland and England have slightly different, I think it's slightly different marriage laws, or like who's in charge of things is slightly different. So it would be the quickest place to like take advantage of Scottish marriage laws and like have a quickie wedding.
Okay.
In a way that you couldn't in England. There might be some religious reasons why that's possible too, given like Church of England stuff versus your Scots Presbyterian and the Catholics. But anyways, reader or listeners, you can tell us more. But in Pride and Prejudice, this is where Wickham and Lydia are headed, or rumored to be headed, when he runs off with her. And I think people can still go, and in like a very romantic, if you're an Anglophile, you can still go elope at Gretna Green if you'd like.
Aww.
Yeah.
It's like the Vegas of the UK.
It is. I think Blackpool is actually more like the Vegas of the UK, but it's maybe the Niagara Falls.
The Niagara. Okay, that's bad. Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. We'll take that.
So they're headed to Gretna Green, but Mary and Edith stop them. And
go
ahead.
I just love that, like, in this moment, the person Mary has to turn to for help is Edith.
Yes.
Because she can drive the car.
Yes. Yeah. So the sisters have to go after Sybil. And I love that it's a sister operation, that they don't go and get Lord Grantham, that they like go after her themselves.
Doing it for themselves.
Amen. Standing on their own 2 feet.
Yes.
Ringing their own bells. Or this case.
Although it does take Anna to see the car on the way. Like, isn't that the car? And they're like, oh, okay. We have so many vehicles, it's hard to keep track of which one's which. But yes, okay.
Yes.
Thank God for Anna.
Yeah,
Anna, who gets the keys to the room from Mrs. Hughes and is like, no, it's fine. You stay. I got it.
Yeah.
So Anna, Loose Morals Anna, also playing a big part in this deception and this covert operation.
Yes. Really, thank goodness for Anna is a refrain I think you'll hear from me quite a lot in the next, in this episode and the next. Loose Morals Anna. Just Loose winning.
Anna. Yeah.
Why have I adopted this title for her as well?
Because it's catchy and charming.
Okay. Okay. What I do love in this scene from, I won't admit it yet, but by some point I will. When Mary and Edith like confront Sybil, Branson says to her, all right, go with them. And I love that Sybil turns to him and says, do you think I'm so weak that I can be convinced to give my heart in 5 minutes flat, or that I can take back my heart in 5 minutes flat? And I love Jessica Brown Findlay just nails that line. Like, hang on a second. One, this decision is not so binary. And two, how dare you, question my love for you? Like, I feel like we're really seeing her steeliness in this scene.
Yeah.
Delivered in a great way.
And it shows that they are more of a marriage of equals.
Yeah.
Than I think, like, either Mary or Edith could expect to witness in that moment, or to even, like, expect for themselves in their own lives. But, like, maybe it's because of their different stations and how they came together, but, like, Sybil can turn to Branson and be like, no.
Yeah.
And she did for years. She was like, not now. I'm being a nurse. The war is going on. But, like, play your cards right and things could happen. And, like, he waited. And in this moment, she gets to be like, come on, man.
Yeah. And I feel like
we've been doing this for years. You think I'm just going to, like, be like, oh, they're right. I'm not going to marry you.
Yeah. And in so many occasions, like the ingenue character, this would be a moment to crumble, to cry, to sort of show her being torn between these two sides. And she really doesn't. She's just like, no, hang on. I will figure this out. Chill, dude.
They're making a good point about not doing it this way.
Yeah.
And I can acknowledge that this is not the best way to do something, even if it's still the thing I want to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so they bring Sybil back. Yeah, it's really good.
Before we move off from this, can we also talk about how they burst into their room?
And conveniently, they are just like on a chair and a bed.
Yeah, conveniently, they're both fully clothed. She's in the bed. He's under a blanket on a chair. Lights are on.
Yeah.
We're not even sleeping on a chair and the bed separately. We're not going to turn the lights off to go to sleep.
I mean,
it was just the weirdest thing to see with more critical eyes, to be like, wait, why were the lights on? They're fully clothed. I mean, I'm not saying they should be like in the bed together without any clothes on, but like,
yeah,
neither one of them looks like they made any attempt to be more comfortable than wearing their day-to-day clothing and just like plopping themselves down on the bed in the chair and being like, this is it. This is all we got.
Well, maybe they just got there. Because I don't know how long before Mary realized Sybil wasn't there that they had left.
How do you get under the blanket?
Okay.
They're under the blankets already. So like
True.
Even if they just were going to bed, like why are they still in their full clothes and shoes? Neither one of them has taken the shoes off.
Sybil was really explicit about, kind of not without a ring you don't, which I'm trying to remember what show that's from.
Which again, I
did
totally
feel odd
understand.
to me too.
I totally understand.
Too clothed.
But I feel like there's a level between fully dressed and nude that they, maybe even if they stayed more towards fully dressed, they would have been a little more comfortable than like literally walking in and just laying down and putting a blanket over themselves.
Yeah. Or I don't know. Or did they have to like pretend they were brother and sister to get this hotel room? I don't
Even then,
know.
with your brother and sister, wouldn't you have pajamas?
I don't know. I'm
sure they did. I'm sure they either had to pretend to already be married or to say they were like siblings or cousins or something to only get one room. But still, it's very odd that even in the privacy of their own hotel room,
this was a weird directorial decision.
Neither one of them even took off their shoes, and they're under blankets, and the lights are on.
Yeah.
Because we don't hear, it's not like we hear a knock, and then they walk in on them, like, recomposing themselves.
Yeah. It was just whoosh, and then here they are.
Yeah.
And then as they leave, so Sybil's out, and then Mary sort of turns around and says, do you want some money for the room? And, oof. Mary is so very upper class in this episode. And that moment is particularly painful. That's got to be a moment that I don't think Tom will ever critique her for it on the show, but I would like to believe that in an offstage moment, Branson's like, hey, remember this?
Yeah, I'm sure. One of their walks through the estate when they were more equal is like, yeah, remember when you like completely insulted me?
Yeah.
By trying to offer me money for the room.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So thankfully, I'm glad this takes place. I'm glad the sisters find her, bring her back. And none of them are awake for breakfast the next morning because that's just how tough all of this is.
Yes. And Mary is just a disappointment for a good chunk of the episode between like offering Branson money to then like breaking Carson's heart. Basically.
Well, let's talk about that.
Yeah.
So Loose Morals Anna has Loose Morals Anna has a rare moment of moral clarity in which
more like Loose Morals Anna is always morally clear. She's the voice of reason on this program.
Yeah, when Carlisle tries to bribe her to be a spy upon Mary, to give him inside information, which, like, first of all, for somebody who's as good as his job as he is, like, this was so heavy-handed and poorly done, Carlisle. Like, you wouldn't at least start with, like, you know, he makes a fair point at the beginning of his argument. Like, our customs are so strange. You barely get to know each other before you walk down the aisle. I want to know some more about her. What kind of perfume does she like? What kind of jewelry should I be getting her? You know, like, start with, like, just some things that a maid might be like, oh, that's nice. Yeah, of course. Like, these are her likes and dislikes and things you should be, and then, like, gradually move up to, like, well, you know, what are her fears? You know, what are her concerns? Is there anything I can be doing to make her feel more comfortable? And then you jump, you know, it's like, I guess he's just not a very good manipulator. Because, like, I'm like, why would you start with just tell me about her goings on, her back and forth.
Yeah.
Who she's seeing. Like, you don't start with that. That's not the first offer. You got to work your way up to that in spycraft.
And Anna's face
I say with
says
such
it
authority.
All. I mean, no, I think that's good instincts. And Anna.
Do I want to have those instincts though? That's not great.
I mean, who knows? But Anna's face says it all. Where the way she looks at her, she's like, what?
No.
Her face says, you are terrible at this. And also you're a horrible person. And before her face says that, I am sitting on my couch saying, run, Anna, run. Because Carlisle gets her in the room and closes the door. And if you are a woman watching a television show with a man and a woman and a power dynamic, and the man closes the door, like, automatically your brain goes to the wrong place. Or not the wrong place, but the terribly right place, you know? So, yeah. Oh, yeah.
A trauma that has yet to unfold, but will.
Yeah. Yeah. And so Carlisle is just, I mean, Fellowes is slowly, he's had plenty of signs that he's not a good person. And even before he asks Anna to spy on him, just the way he goes about it is so manipulative.
Yeah. But she does the right thing.
Yes.
She's a smart girl, our Anna.
Yes. I do actually have in my notes, Loose Morals Anna for the win.
It's stuck. Sometimes you just have to say things enough times and then it happens.
Yes. And so coming back to Carson, Anna, as soon as she gets this request from Carlisle and basically tells him no way, informs Mrs. Hughes and Carson of what he's asked of her.
Yes.
Carson then takes this to Mary, thinking he's really looking out for her. She would want to know this. And she, kind of caught up between a rock and a hard place, where this man is her fiance. She needs to support him. She's also, you can tell, very angry at what he's asked Anna to do.
And she's handed him the blackmail he needs to keep her.
Yeah. And so she has to stand up for him and basically tells Carson, you're no longer wanted.
Yeah.
At Hagsby. Like if this is the way that you're going to speak of Carlisle, it's probably best that you not be there with us.
Yeah. Well, and just the way she says, like, I thought better of you. I thought you cared about me. And then as he's walking out of the room saying to Carlisle, like, butlers will be I forget the exact expression, but
like two for a penny
or something. To a penny, yeah. Everyone's looking for work. It'll be fine. We don't need them. Like, oh, so devastating.
Yeah, it's so hurtful. Just really, really painful.
Yeah. And Carson's dealing with enough downstairs because he's also got Thomas.
Yes. Who's trying to sell. So, he is just sort of living on the grounds. We'll get more of that a little bit later, but he's sort of running a scheme. He's sold supplies to the kitchen, only for them to discover that the flour is plaster and really being...
Not only is it plaster, okay, Mrs. Hughes takes the flour on her finger, tastes it, and goes, it's 2/3 plaster. Girl, what is your palate that you can tell some of this is flour, but 2/3 of it is plaster?
Yeah.
Lord Fellowes, I have to quibble with this. I think that was an edit that needed to happen in the script because it makes no sense for her to judge the fraction of the awful thing that's plaster versus flour. How would she know that? How would she be able to tell?
I don't know. I mean, unless there was a time in which there was no point that anybody's like.
And I also think like it has to be.
Mrs. Patmore's been like cutting other.
Right. But I also think it has to be. It has to actually be less than that because they were able to make a cake that is maintaining its shape in the cupboard.
Yeah.
So like. I just that it was the 2/3 thing that really threw me when I was watching this time. Like, wait, she can just taste 2/3 plaster dust.
Mrs. Patmore's got skills.
I know she does. But like, I don't think that's humanly possible.
That is not a particular.
That was a
skill.
quibble. I think I'd like to think that someone in the writing room would have been like, "Oh, that's a really weird thing to say 2/3. Like, just taste it and be like, oh." Yeah. Even if you were to be like, it's half plaster dust, like that's a thing you could just like throw out and be like expressing that like it's more than just flour. But to say 2/3,
it's a little too exact. Yeah.
So strange. So, but yes, Thomas sells this black market groceries to Mrs. Hughes. They try to make a cake. It tastes awful. They realize that everything's either been replaced with some other substance or it's just so old it's unusable. And so Thomas has been sold a bill of goods and gave up all of his money to try to have this little venture.
Yep.
And now he's broke.
And so he destroys the whole storehouse of his things in a rage. And here begins a real humbling turn for Thomas. Yeah. Or maybe here continues, but
you know what? I'm just thinking about now for the first time.
Yes.
Is that destroying everything in that shed was the honorable choice.
Yeah.
Because he could have tried to sell the rest of it knowing it was garbage.
And he didn't.
To recoup some of his money, he could have he could have put it in a cart, taken it to another village where people didn't know him.
Yeah.
And sold them these horrible things and like left town, and he would have at least been able to recoup something. He didn't. As soon as he found out it was not what he had been told it was, he just trashes the whole venture. He is unwilling to sell something he knows to be bad goods to someone else.
So
never thought about that until just now.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I hadn't thought about that either. He's growing.
Yeah. Oh, anything else going on downstairs that we should talk about?
downstairs, no. I think that other than, I just have notes.
Well,
Hugh Bonneville looks really ill and sounds terrible. And so does Mrs. Patmore. There's a cold going around the cast.
That could very well be. That could very well be.
Yeah.
We should talk about how in Anna's world, Mr. Bates has found out that his wife committed suicide, which we found out at the end of last episode, and she did so by poisoning herself.
Yes.
And he realizes that Vera, his ex-wife, had him go and buy rat poison several weeks before her death. Yeah. And so he's sharing with Anna, like, I'm a little concerned that I may have had something to do with this unwittingly.
Right.
But, like, this looks bad. We were in the middle of a contentious divorce. Now she's dead with rat poison that I bought.
Yeah.
Eek.
Yes.
Yes. And so, and it's actually thanks to Robert that he thinks of it, because, Robert's the one who's like, well, it must have been preconceived. How else would she have the stuff? It's not like she took it in a fit of, well, I guess it is still like at this point, like she took it in a fit of like emotional outburst and she took the poison and killed herself. We'll find out later how she took the poison, and it, changes things in the future. But for Bates to have that moment of like, oh, she would have had it in the house.
Yeah.
Because I bought it. And somebody might remember me having bought it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
so
crap.
he's putting some terrible
Anna
pieces together.
is like, well, you got to tell the police right now. You got to tell the police that you remembered this. Now that you know it's poison. Hey, I bought the poison several weeks before. She said it was for the rats.
But
and
I think he
does.
Do that.
I think he ultimately does he? Is it unclear? Do we know whether he ever follows that advice?
I don't remember. I don't like this plot line so much that I sort of don't pay attention to it.
Oh, and it just gets worse in the next season.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. And I guess the only other thing to really talk about is we have a miracle.
Yes.
A miracle at Downton.
Yep. Lavinia Matthew had felt a tingle at the end of the last episode, and he tells Bates he's feeling something. And then he's in his chair as Lavinia is picking up tea. And when she's about to trip or does trip on a stool, he hops out to catch her. And suddenly it's clear, he has been healed. Dr. Clarkson tries to explain the science behind this miracle, but it's really pretty incredible. And it gives Violet
one of many, many times in this series that Dr. Clarkson has to be like, I was wrong.
Poor Dr. Clarkson.
He's called on to be wrong a lot.
Yeah.
But, that's medicine at this time, this day and age.
That's true. So. It's a little bit more of a gamble and a little bit less of an exact science at the time. Yeah. And Matthew's recovery gives Violet feels like it gives her license to basically say to him, Mary is still in love with you.
Yeah.
And there's still time for you to part with Lavinia, to put things back together with her. It's a really beautiful moment between Violet and Matthew, in which he asserts his commitment to Lavinia, but Violet makes a really persuasive case.
So persuasive. The way I went from one to the other by the beginning and the end of this conversation, totally on Matthew's side. And then like the way that Violet brings it all around by saying like, you are going to spend the rest of your life with a person. Make sure it's the right one. Our kind does not divorce.
Yes.
So this is going to be forever. You are thinking about right now. You got to think about forever.
Take the long view. Yeah.
Yeah.
Such a good scene. And
so good.
Yeah. And so I think that is and the episode ends, or nearly ends then, with Matthew and Lavinia at home with Isabel, beginning to make wedding plans, and Isabel walks in with Mary's charm.
Yeah.
Not recognizing it as one of Matthew's toys. And when he says, it was a good luck charm and she offers to like put it in a giveaway bin, he very quickly shuts that down.
Yeah.
And so it's clear to Lavinia, who knows she didn't give it to him, that there are still some feelings there.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Cool little device to bring that back in this moment and to show how much it means to him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Awesome.
So I think that brings us to some trivia.
Yes, it does.
All right. So every episode, one host will challenge the other with a trivia question related to the Julian Fellowes property we're discussing that week. It could be about an actor, the production, the time period in which the story is set. The possibilities are endless. So first, let's take a listen to my answer from last week.
The 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month holds great significance in this episode, as it is the time when Germany signed the armistice ending World War I. The term, the 11th hour, is also a turn of phrase used to mean at the last possible moment. It would be understandable to conflate the two, assuming that the phrase had its origin at the end of World War I. But it actually comes from a book published many years earlier. Name the book.
The 11th hour. Can you tell me how many years earlier?
Many years earlier.
Okay. I'm just going to, since we're talking about war and it's many, I'm going to guess Henry V.
Okay. You always have really good guesses. But that is not correct.
Okay.
It's the Bible.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
It comes from Matthew chapter 20, verses 1 through 16, a parable about the vineyard owner who hires laborers at different times and they pay them all, including those hired at the 11th hour, the same wage. So really, it's more of a story about divine generosity and, getting what is owed to you and like getting what is agreed upon. And yet the phrase has evolved to mean at the last possible moment or like just in time.
I love that I learned this today. Thank you.
Yeah. I'm noticing that I'm doing a fair amount of etymology in my trivia questions, and I need to make sure I don't do it. But like that one, I was like, oh, I love that because I listened to that and I was like, oh, that must be where the 11th hour comes from.
Yeah.
Nay, comes
all
from
right.
So,
well, thank you. Listeners, did you get it right? Follow us on Instagram at Strange Bedfellows, that's Fellows with an ES, where we'll be posting the trivia question each week. So this week, I have a trivia question for Kirt.
Bring it on.
And our segue today is really perfect because my question has to deal with a line that Violet gave as Matthew and Lavinia were planning their wedding. There are questions about when were they going to get married. And Violet says, Mary and May rue the day. And says, oh no. And so she says it in a way that suggests like this is an aphorism that people know. And I didn't. So I'm wondering, what is this superstition? How old is the superstition? And why might those married in May rue their choice? All right. Tune in next episode to find out if Kirt got it right. If you think you know the answer, find this week's question over on Instagram and put your answer in the comments.
This has been another episode of Strange Bedfellows. You've heard our thoughts, and now we want to hear yours.
The best way to get in touch with us is on Instagram. Again, that's at Strange Bedfellows with an ES in Fellows, or email us at strangebedfellows@gmail.com. You can also find our personal social media links in the show notes.
If you would be so kind, please rate and review the show wherever you're listening to us right now, and subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes.
Thanks for listening.
Ta.